Death Star, man.
Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
Well, the Acolyte is finally here, and mind blown. This is the Wars and More. I'm Joe, and of course with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How are you doing? How's your head?
Oh, it's blown, blown. Yeah, my mind is blown that something can be talked up so much and then just be okay.
Yeah, well,
I'll tell you what. They didn't learn anything. Didn't learn anything from all those things. Your arrogance blinds you. Like, they didn't learn shit from that.
that's true. That's absolutely true. Yeah. This, I don't know, man. This was supposed to be the most epic Star Wars series ever, and is there enough there for me to keep watching? Yes, but okay, that's where I'm at. Just enough to keep watching.
I mean, for some reason, at this point, it's just like, look, we know you got us. We're going to watch because it says Star Wars.
Yeah.
Look, I finished the Book of Boba Fett. It says Star Wars.
Sure.
Like, it's just, yeah, we're going to show up for some reason.
For some reason, yes.
They're really trying to make us not.
I agree. Yeah, we have issues with this. I would just say there are things that we've noticed.
Well, I mean, and you know what the problem is with this one, and we called it before the show even came out, right? Like, they probably shouldn't be like calling their shot. You can't be back there like Kobe, you know, like, and then, you know, you're more like Shaq, you know, like,
Yep.
just
Exactly.
like, because if they don't do that, these two episodes have me super intrigued, right?
Well, I wouldn't say super.
Okay, super is probably a stretch, but I'm intrigued. I want to see more. Like, you want to give it a chance. If you don't have all that, like, we're doing things they've never, like, it's been so great in, you know, you saw the Phantom Menace, right? We're going to beat that.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. So far, I'm not seeing that.
I'm not seeing that. And I'm seeing a very disjointed story. Like, there's just so many holes. There's so many ways for this to get blown apart.
Right.
Like, I don't know how you circle this around to a cohesive story. I understand it's like different people telling it,
Yep.
but they are telling it from such a matter-of-fact point. Like, I'm right there with you, Doug. We talked off mic. I'm right there with you about one particular point. Master Soul says, I saw her die.
Yes. He's a Jedi.
And then
he's a Jedi Master teaching other younglings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Saw her die.
Respected Jedi Master. His word.
And within,
I saw her die. Yes. And go ahead.
and within 5 minutes time,
Under. Yes.
under 5 minutes time, she turns and says, my sister's alive, like, May's alive. And he's like, I believe you.
Yeah.
Dude, you saw her die.
Right. So apparently you can't believe your own eyes now. I mean, if you're saying that just to get her off the ledge, you know, fine, I guess. I don't know. That was just strange. It's like, I don't know. I had a hard time with that one. And look, OSHA has this, what can only be described as like a force-induced dream, right? I mean, this is like,
Are you talking about the character or the company?
Oh, the character.
Or the organization,
Yeah,
right?
we're still
force-induced dream. OSHA's definitely got that.
So
Oh, the character. Okay,
character.
okay. Yeah, gotcha.
So where, this is supposed to be reminiscent of what? Luke in the Dagobah cave or what? I don't know. But, she has this thing, wakes up, May's alive. What? But okay, so for sure. Maybe you don't know for sure at that point. But when you do find out for sure, you're not like, hey, I thought you were dead for 10 years. Maybe I'd be a little emotional about that. I don't know.
I gotta say this too. Like the adult May with the child voice.
Mm-hmm.
That is some weird shit.
Yes.
It's just, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
It doesn't work. Not even a little. Like, I get what you're going for, but you did it later with just the child May, like in the hallway and then runs away.
Right.
That makes more sense. That's what she remembers. But seeing the adult version talking a child's voice, that was just messed up and weird. And just don't.
Exactly.
It didn't work. It didn't sell nothing. Like, look, she looks exactly like you. She probably sounds exactly like you. Just roll with it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that works.
Like, if it's going to be just based on her memory, May should have just been a child altogether. Because that's her memory of May.
Right.
That's it. Don't make this adult version of May like, oh, it's working off her memory. That's why the voice is that way. Then her person should have been that way.
Right.
It's just weird. Weird. Didn't like it. Disconcerting. Just, I don't want to say derailed the show, but it didn't help.
There was a lot of derailing of the show. I'm sorry. From the little things, right? OSHA being her name one, okay, because yes, I'm thinking of the Occupational Safety Health, whatever association. I don't know. Yeah, constantly. Soul's name. I'm sorry, he's a Mars Day. I guess I don't know. His name bugs me too. But okay, whatever. I mean, these are. If you can relate it to something in real life, it's going to be less impactful as a Star Wars name, right?
Like a Pit Boy?
Yeah, that too. Oh my God. Yes, Pip. Really? And it's your little do-it-all computer droid, whatever it is, talks too loud? I don't know. My God. Oh. Yes.
I mean, they have reached the point where it's like, I need a cute little droid.
Yeah, every time.
They
right?
finally reached the point where it's like, okay, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Like Pip, that's the worst one. That's a freaking tablet, man.
Right.
What the hell is that thing doing? Like
And
then like later on, she rips his head off to like unlock the cell.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh,
exactly. And then she uses it as a communication device, and it's a welder, and it's a stun gun, and it's oh my God. Really? Oh, and a fire extinguisher apparently. So, hey, it does it all.
Like, and okay. So they're repairing a shield, right?
Yeah.
We're jumping all over the place, but this is
That's
what we
fine.
do. This is
That's
what
fine.
we do.
Who cares?
Welcome to the Wars and More.
Right.
We're sporadic.
Yes.
Which actually, you know what? Which kind of works with this show.
I think so. Yes.
I mean, we could talk about it in order, and it's going to sound just as fucked up.
That's right.
Jesus. But like they're out in space. They're working on a shield.
Yeah.
Right? What powers the shield?
I'm not sure why. Wait.
I don't know.
A
But
shield
apparently
generator?
it makes
A shield generator?
yeah. Yeah, because apparently it makes like perfect campfires in space.
Oh, right. Yes.
That you need to use a fire extinguisher.
Right. It's like not even like showing off gassing or anything. It's like,
Like, I'm like, all right, look, it's Star Wars.
Yes.
We shouldn't be applying physics. I get it.
Exactly.
But this is just like a chilling little fire with perfect little rolling flames and stuff. Like, look, if it's an oxygen leak or something, well, it'd need to be more than just oxygen.
Yeah.
But if it's oxygen and an accelerant leaking in this area, it would be a torch, right? Because that's the only place where it can burn. Not this little campfire that she can walk over to and put out. Like, that's just...
Exactly.
That one's just the worst.
Yep.
Like, the dropping bombs in The Last Jedi, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's no gravity, but there's artificial gravity on a ship for one.
Right.
There's magnets, right? Like, you can make stuff attract to things. Like, you can make this work.
Sure.
How do you make a soft fire in space?
I don't know. That was funny.
Like a roaring fire. I get it. Because you're putting everything right there. Everything you need. An accelerant, oxygen. You're putting everything right. It should be this roaring like, I got to put that out. Like, it'd be a jet of fire.
Yeah.
Not this soft flame.
Right.
There ain't no way. No way.
Nope.
I mean, don't believe me? Make a fire tent. Like, make a little paper tent, right?
Right.
And fill it with some accelerant.
Don't try this at home.
And then click a lighter in there and tell me what happens.
Yeah. I burnt all the hair off my forearm.
Yeah. What the hell just happened? I just made a bomb in my chair.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't try that at home.
Yeah. You cannot light it too early. You got to make sure that that little paper tent is full of accelerant.
God, stop it. Yes. I don't know. There's a lot that to be desired here. I mean, okay, another thing that is bugging the heck out of me. I can't even tell you why. But these Jedi robes. It's like, why do we have to change the Jedi robes? I mean,
well, it's 100 years before, Doug.
Oh, is it now? I mean,
maybe.
No, it's 100 years before the end of Revenge of the Sith. So it's about 80 years before. No, not 80. 90 years before The Phantom Menace. So it's like, do Jedi styles change that dramatically? I mean, and if anything, I would imagine if the Jedi were getting that much more and more, we'll call it arrogant or whatever you want to call it, right? So maybe the robes would become even more ornate, but they become more humble. So it's just weird how that works, isn't it? The Jedi are supposed to be like monks, right? And I'm not getting that vibe from this show.
No, I'm actually getting the vibe that they're a military.
Yeah, exactly.
They actually use the word stationed on.
Stationed?
I'm like, stationed?
Well, when does a Padawan say permission to speak freely? What?
I mean, do the Jehovah's Witness say they're stationed over at whatever?
Exactly. No.
Like, no, they don't use the word stationed because they're not a militant group.
Exactly. None of that makes sense, right? If the Jedi that were on these other worlds were doing something like something akin to a missionary, a mission like that, right? Where they're providing aid to people who could use it or something like that, and they're just overseeing that. Okay, cool. That I get. But no, they're an occupational force, basically. You know, it doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, let's roll with that and let's skip to the end
Okay.
because this fits that. What's with the Wookiee and the crash ship hanging out on a planet?
I have no idea.
That's wartime shit right there.
Well,
Okay.
you're saying it is.
Yes.
It certainly seems that way,
Yeah. Like
right?
the Wookiee got shot down over Vietnam and like landed in the jungle and just
Right.
made camp in their crash ship.
Right.
Yeah, that makes that makes sense in a war. Okay.
Right.
Why in peacetime?
Why in peacetime? Exactly.
In this glorious time of the Republic where everything's great before the Jedi screwed it up. Why is the Jedi hiding out?
And so it's the Wookiees Kelnaka, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Kelnaka must have been on a mission or doing some sort of Jedi business somewhere, right? So the Jedi Order would know where he was going, what route he was taking, where he was along the way. And since it's peacetime, you would think they would have resources to look for their missing Jedi Wookiee, Kelnaka, and retrieve him.
No, they're stretched thin.
Yeah, right. Stretched so thin that, hey, before you go on with anymore trying to figure this May thing out, Soul, you need to come back and we need to sit down and have a powwow. Here back at the Jedi Temple, because we got to speak in person, even though in episode 3 we had Jedi Council members, phoning it in with holograms. It's like,
oh, you're gonna make me make this explicit.
oh yeah,
yeah, because like Saul's gonna walk out of that meeting going, "This could have been a fucking email."
yes, exactly. that was exactly what I was thinking. I felt bad for the guy because it's like your boss is like, "Hey, we need you at this meeting." No, you really don't. I'm telling you right now, you really don't. And then you show up at the meeting, you go through the meeting, and you get done. I really didn't need to be at the meeting.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, I didn't realize you were gonna make me, like use another F-bomb. Like, I already wasted my one. Like,
oh, yes, but that's exactly what that was like. It was like, really? Are you serious?
I mean, I'm watching the interaction, and I'm like, why can't he go there?
Yeah.
Like, what do you need him for? Like, I just didn't get, like, are the kids going to end up delinquent because you sent one teacher? You don't have a substitute? Like,
right. I don't know.
And are we going to ignore the Padawan that's like, I see fire?
Yeah, I know. It's like, okay, we're going to have to keep a special eye on that one.
Yep.
Yes. I see fire. It's like, whoa.
Like, at least ask, like, okay, like, if this is a legit vision, okay, why you see fire?
Right.
Who's there?
Who's there? Yeah. Where's it at? Yeah.
This dude, like, his old Padawan appears out of nowhere, supposedly killing a Jedi. His other Padawan that he's got right now just says she saw fire. Like, I'm just saying, dude, if I'm a Jedi, I'm going to put the signs together.
Maybe it's you. Yeah.
And go, maybe I shouldn't go there. This little kid just saw fire.
Exactly.
Fire bad.
Right.
It burned. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
Like, so, okay. Since we're talking about all the things in this plot that just seem scattered.
It's all we got to talk about. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
So May, right?
Yep.
May is accused of setting the fire that killed Osha's family.
Right.
But May is seeking revenge.
Right. How that works, I don't know. So,
I'm like,
I do bad
okay.
thing. I do bad thing. Some people try to help fix bad thing or save us from bad thing. And, oh, I know. I'll kill them. I don't understand.
So, well, that's the problem, right? Like normally when you have stories, right, and conflicting stories, you kind of flesh each of them out.
Right.
So people are like, oh, it could be this or it could be that.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, pretty much it's everyone talking about how May is responsible for all this stuff and May's dead, but May's seeking revenge. Revenge for what?
Exactly.
Like, there should have been more in the beginning about why May's seeking revenge.
Agreed.
This is going to make the story very disjointed because, like, okay, let's say this is a Jedi conspiracy, right?
Okay.
Why are the Jedi talking amongst themselves like they don't know what the hell's going on? This is amongst themselves.
Right.
They're all supposed to know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
They all know it. Like, are they just so delusional that they just don't talk about it? Like, we got to act like it. No. Okay, let's establish the story. Okay, yes. Okay, we established the story. This is what happened. Now, cool. We all established that. Now forget about it. Just completely forget it.
Right.
We're never going to talk about this again. If someone comes back, we're just going to act like when we're talking to each other, not even that person involved, we're going to act like it didn't happen.
Right.
Why the hell would you do that?
None of it makes sense. That's the thing. If there's going to be some sort of revelation that comes later on in the series, it's like, okay, the story probably would have been better served to have that up front, like you're talking about. Because as of right now, it's just got us scratching our head going, is this the way it's supposed to be? Because I think you're missing something.
I think with the way the Jedi that are involved talked about it, there is no way they can clean that up.
Right.
Because co-conspirators don't act like they don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
Ever. So, I don't know. I get maybe, unless the point of the story is like, wow, the Jedi are that delusional. Well, they should have fell a long time before 100 years later from this.
Yeah.
Because if they're that delusional, I'd have taken them down.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, man.
And the Jedi mind trick wasn't actually a thing. They were just stupid.
Yeah.
You were just able to talk them out of it.
Well, okay. You brought the Jedi mind trick, right? Okay. I there was a few things here in this first couple episodes that it's like, okay, we are trying really hard to make the audience go, ooh, this is the part where they're going to do the thing. And then they don't. Okay.
Come on, baby, do the magic hand thing.
Right. Yeah. Yord sticks his hand up at the Nemoidian like he's going to do the Jedi mind trick. Then the other Nemoidian comes in and says, oh, here's where she's at. It's like, oh, he didn't have to. Right? Or,
oh, we're going to go to that character.
Or Osha in the jail cell. She can't reach her Pip-Boy. So she's going to use the Force to call it to her. But, oh, wait, she can't. You know? It's really? I mean, this is like so in your face. It's like, you know, here we are. We're not going to say we're going to subvert your expectations, but guess what we're doing? You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
I mean, all you did right there was like, oh, she can't call her Pip-Boy to her hand. So it's like, okay, yeah, she left the Jedi Order. She was getting fired. And she's like, you can't fire me, I quit.
Right.
Like,
yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But we are, hold on. We are going to throw in, I got a bad feeling about this. So,
of course.
You should be satisfied with that. Anyway,
Mhm.
I just, I don't know.
How about, oh man. We're going to just throw out Star Wars quotes, right?
Yeah.
Peace is a lie. I get it. I know. She said that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
are you kidding me?
Right. Yes.
Here we got the Sith oath, right? Like the code of the Sith, right?
Yes.
Something that is very, very broken up in canon, right? Like it's been referred to. Darth Maul made a few references to it throughout the Clone Wars.
Sure.
But I don't think in canon we have heard the Sith code in its entirety.
Right.
All right. So to have it go, peace of the lie, I know, yeah, whatever. Like to hear that is just like, okay.
It's like, hey, all of the time that you fans put into, researching Star Wars and doing all the extra reading and all the backstories and all the side character stories and all the, I want to learn everything I can about the Jedi. I want to learn everything I can about the Sith. Guess what? All of that is, yeah. We got that, whatever.
No, it's just you entitled pieces of shit.
Right.
How dare you? Yeah, pieces of lie. Yeah, I get it.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like, look, Star Wars has been out a long time. There's been a lot of stories along the way. And I don't mind the teasers of the EU, right? Like, you don't have to go there. I get it.
Yeah.
It wasn't Disney's thing. But to do this like yada 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 kind of thing after it,
yes,
I was like, wow. Like that's not like this. I don't know how to put this, but like they got this like way of doing things right now where it's like, oh, it's these men who love Star Wars are just gonna get pissed off because of this. No, it's because you say something like that.
Right.
We care about the story, damn it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's because you do stuff like that. It's because you do stuff like you have a character who's, in the jail cell, and when she hears, hey, we're going to do a prison break, and she's like, are you going to put your faith in the Jedi? It's like, yeah, I have faith in the Jedi. And then after she crash lands due to the prison break, the Jedi are coming, they fly overhead, and she runs away. What? Are you kidding me? What? I don't understand. You have putting your faith in the Jedi. I don't get it. I don't understand how this stuff makes any sense. I don't know.
I mean, here you have a lot of characters that you're establishing, right?
Sure.
That really, really have potential.
Sure. Yeah, you're establishing them. One of them that I was really looking forward to was Carrie-Anne Moss, and she got really established. But just saying.
But like, okay, let's just talk about Soul. Let's talk about Osha. Let's talk about May.
Sure.
Like these characters, they have good potential. But they're getting screwed up by this disjointed story.
Yes.
Like, I absolutely love the way Amanda Stenberg is playing these two characters.
She's doing a good job.
Oh, it's fantastic. Like, the way, like, the separation that she's established on two characters who look almost identical.
Yep.
Look almost identical, but, like, her posture's different, man. Like,
right.
Her delivery and how she talks, it's so different between the two characters. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's one of the best execution of differing twins that I've ever seen. But this story is so disjointed, it's getting overshadowed.
Yes.
Like she's killing it. And the story's killing her.
Right.
like it sucks. You got soul, right? Like,
Yeah.
like it just sucks that that's happening because this is some good acting going on. And it's getting shit on by the story that she's acting out.
Right.
Like, and then you got soul. Like, I mean, his delivery during the fight, I mean, his stuff's a little wonky at times.
Yes, it is.
But during that fight, oh my God, was that fantastic?
Sure, it was really good. I just, again, that's a small bright spot in a vast void. I mean,
but like we talk about his like some of his other stuff is wonky. You just got to wonder if that's just the dialogue that's written.
Oh, probably.
Because the dialogue's not great.
It's not.
like why do you have to like overtly put I didn't realize you were so attached to your Padawan. I don't think he said that shit, did he?
Right. That was it's like, come on, we are stretching to make a point here, And
she exactly says that. Like, if this is one of our own that turned on us, we have to be swift and we have to do that. Like, she's making the execution before
oh yeah,
you even have a trial. Like,
yep.
Like, what? Like, even the Jedi of the arrogant Jedi of the later Old Republic era, they're not that way.
Right.
They're not looking to execute. They weren't even looking to execute Ahsoka.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Hey.
It was weird to me. Like, really weird.
Yeah, it was totally weird.
It's like they were trying, like, George Lucas tried to make the Empire like Nazi Germany, right?
Yep.
And it's like Leslie Headland's trying to make the Jedi Nazi Germany.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way. And if this is supposed to be, from your certain point of view take, fine. But it's like, there is.
Yeah, but I mean, the line that "Can I count on you for this?"
Yeah.
Like, "Can I count on you for this?" is not looking for justice. Okay, that's looking for like, we are looking for our best political option here.
Yeah,
and it's cutting that bitch's head off. Like, it's just
we got to look good in the press is what we got to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If she just disappears, that's good for business.
Yep. All the holovids got to say, Jedi good, yay. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. All that kind of stuff is so clunky as far as the story goes. That's where this thing is it's misfiring for me.
Yeah, and I mean, let's hold out hope, right? We could be wrong. This could all make sense in the end. Doubt it.
I'm gonna say maybe, and even if it does, it could have made more sense all the way through.
Right,
So-
but like, here's the thing about a certain point of view kind of thing. The certain point of view's got to come from the two sides, right?
Right.
You got to play from the two sides. This is a certain point of view from like 5 people on the same side.
Okay. Yeah.
May's just looking for revenge. We don't know why. Like, May is
Yeah.
May's the ace here.
Right.
We don't know what May's really pissed off about yet.
Exactly.
Everything else is just like differing stories within the group that's on the same side. That's what makes this weird. This is not opposing side viewpoints. This is 5 different viewpoints on the side of the Jedi. And then you got May. We have no idea what she's pissed about.
Exactly. That's not the only thing that makes this weird. It's just
Well,
one of
I
the
mean,
things that makes
there's
this weird.
literally a Jedi who committed suicide for a reason we don't know.
Right. Right.
So apparently he was all in with May.
Yeah, for some reason, none of that made any sense. Yeah, and like I said, if there's a revelation that's going to come to light later, it's like you gotta close in on a little something here to where we can start putting pieces together on our own. Right now, we just got nothing. You know, it's and 2 episodes is too far to be into it to have nothing. You know, I
mean, there's only one explanation at this point. Literally only one. Is that the Jedi sensed the dark side in May. And they attacked her village, and they're the reason for the fire, and they tried to kill her.
Oh, that's possible.
That's it. Only explanation.
Right.
Outside of that, I'm lost.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Like, because I don't see any other reason for the Jedi to be responsible for what happened to their village in a time of peace.
Right.
Like, I could understand her blaming the Jedi because, you know, they brought the war to her world. No, they had a peace for thousands of years.
Right.
So
it's funny, we do, for a time of peace, we have a lot of Jedi that are really quick to draw their sabers, don't we? Like Yord and whatever the outpost Jedi leader was, you know.
Yord's paranoid as hell.
Yes. Okay. I'm really having a hard time with what's her name? Jackie.
Is her name Jackie?
Jackie. Jecki.
Oh, yeah.
Jackie is like the most brilliant Padawan ever. And, you know, Yord comes up with an idea, albeit not a great one.
Oh, no, it was actually really, really dumb, honestly.
But, you know, just, I'm sorry, you're a Padawan talking to a Jedi Knight. That would have never happened like that in the old days. I'm sorry. When I say the old days, I mean, 90 years in the future. Because this
well, let's compare it to the real world.
Put your clothes on, come on.
Let's compare it to the real world. If one of my trainees talked to me like that,
yeah,
I'm just going to turn around and walk away. I'm not even going to acknowledge it, right? Like,
exactly.
Just be like, and leave.
Right.
Now, if they have a nice, cool head and a good idea, I'm absolutely going to listen to that.
Sure.
Don't insult me along the way. You insult me along the way, I don't give a shit how good your idea is.
Exactly. Way too much attitude in Jackie's character for me to like her.
Well, life is far more complicated than having a good idea yet being an asshole. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
You can have a good idea if you present it like, like a jerk, then probably not going to listen to it.
Right.
But if you have a good idea and present it like a professional, people will listen. Just saying.
Yep.
Just saying. I thought that was like poor. Like, just to why do you have a character if you're just going to rip him down?
Exactly.
Now, granted, he does plenty to do that on his own.
Right.
But do you really need to just keep driving him into I don't know why this guy shows up for work every day.
Exactly. If this is what being a Jedi is all about, it's like, man, I don't know if I'm in.
Right. In a time of peace. Can you imagine war?
Right.
Ugh.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like if it was war, talking to him like that makes total sense. It's war. You should be a jerk.
It's all of that being said, the real problem I had with those interactions was this idea should have been Soul's. He's the master in the group.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yet he was just, I don't know. There was less of the, okay, pay attention now, Padawan. Here's a good learning opportunity. No, it's, oh, my Padawan's so smart. We should listen to her. It's like, wow, okay. These seem to be like role reversal almost.
Moral of the story, teenage girls know everything.
That's true. Yeah.
And we'd all be better off by listening to them.
Right. Now, I have teenage girls in the house. No.
So I'm wrong?
You are wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yes. Yes. But yeah.
I mean, they should have been asking the Pit Boy.
Exactly.
That's what I always did. Oh, wait. Star Wars.
Star Wars. Right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we should probably touch on the reception of the show a little bit.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I mean, we've just highlighted a couple bright spots here. We've done our fair share of tearing things apart, and I think we're being fair with writing. What was the anyone who's familiar with the Librarians television show that was on USA or something like that, Noah Wiley and stuff back. It was a made for TV, like limited series that, interesting storylines, effects not that great. Just one of those type of shows.
Right.
I get the same vibe off of this one. The same kind of feeling. Like it's.
I bet the budget's different.
The budget's way different, man. That's for sure. But it's like, okay, if the budgets are going to be that different, I think they're spending too much on this one to get the effect they're getting here. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay. So I'll say this. While we are not a fan overall of Rotten Tomatoes, right? I think we've established that in the past.
It has its flaws, right?
It has its flaws. But when you see a disparity like this, you gotta call it into question. And this is a trend. This disparity is a trend. So right now, the Acolyte on Rotten Tomatoes, tomato meter, critic score, 92%.
Right.
Critics love this show.
Love it.
92% is nothing to just bat an eye at, right? Like it's
that's high.
That's high.
Yes.
Overall, that is high.
Right.
Audience score, 29%.
Right.
This is a disconnect that blows my mind. Like, it blows my mind more so because of the story flaws in this show.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how a critic can look at those story flaws and be like, wow, this is amazing. what?
Exactly.
Like the show has stepped on itself so much in these first 2 episodes. Hey, I'll say this: critics got to see 3 and 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe this gets fleshed out a little better in 3 and 4. We'll see.
We'll see. I have my doubts.
Which we're gonna check back exactly with 3 and 4.
Right.
So we'll see. I doubt it. I don't think you can recover from this very neatly and quickly.
No.
You cannot. It's not going to be that quick.
I have to say,
there's work to do.
There's a lot of work to do. Judging from this, if Star Wars fans are seeing things a lot in the same way that you and I are picking up on all these, like, plot holes or just, clunky writing, whatever you want to call it. And this is why we have this 29% so far. This just I don't want to be Mr. Comparison guy, all right? But it's very reminiscent, but worse, of The Last Jedi, right? Because on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 91% tomato meter and a 41% audience score. Again, very mismatched in there.
Right, but I'll say this. Out the gate, that film had a more balanced score.
Okay. So
it took time for that audience score to fall.
Okay. I was looking at a few, all right?
Okay.
So if we look at Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And you can see that even, not to toot our own horn, but you can see that going through our show.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because at that time, there was a desire not to.
I can say personally, yes, there was a desire to want to like it because it was Star Wars.
Right. And not necessarily just a desire to want to like it, but a desire to want to understand why it went a certain way.
Yeah.
And understanding that the next film may make this film better. That's kind of how it works.
Sure.
Right? Like, I'm sorry, I know people hate me saying this, but Empire on its own is not the film that everybody talks about it as.
Sure.
You need Jedi to flesh that out. Like, once Jedi fleshes that out, Empire's fantastic. It's really good.
So,
but you need Jedi to do that.
Okay. So we'll see where these stats are at the end of this, right? For sure.
I would agree with that. Like, but Empire didn't have the same, like, it wasn't so disjointed. It's still connected to everything really seamlessly.
Absolutely.
Like, and you can watch 4 than 5 and be like, oh wow, okay, it still makes sense.
Right.
But on its own, Empire it's not a standalone film.
Right.
Empire, you cannot put that out in theaters as its own film and people go, wow, that's great.
Right.
No way. You need before, you need after.
Yeah.
As a middle film, whew, Empire kicks ass.
Yes. So, I just want to go through these real quick because it's going to give us a little, we'll call it insight, right? Now, all of these have their conclusions, right? That we have so far, and that might play into this, right? So, bearing that in mind, I'm just looking at that 92 to 29% versus other things here in Star Wars, right? So, Obi-Wan, even though it's concluded, had 82% and 62%. That is far more towards the middle, closer to meeting than what we're seeing there. Ahsoka, 86 and 68. The Mandalorian. This is like the closest. Well, no, Last Jedi was actually closer, wasn't it? It was.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the Mandalorian, its closest show, television show, had 90% to the audience of 78%.
Mm-hmm.
In the Book of Boba Fett, 66 and 53. It's just interesting, that we have this super wide divide, at least at this point. I would like to think that gap is going to close up as the weeks go on.
I would imagine.
I hope. For Star Wars' sake. I don't want the audience to feel that lousy about a Star Wars show. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And you know what? Like, we understand the initial reaction and stuff. That's going to be the haters, right? Like, it really is. We really, we do. It's going to be the haters. The first ones out there are going to be the forum guys that you remember from back in the day, just being straight assholes. But at the same time, this level of disparity, this is crazy.
Now,
it's crazy.
It's crazy. Now, I do want to make mention, this has a critic review percentage of 92%, right? And The Mandalorian has a 90. Now, this is a couple seasons into The Mandalorian, okay, all that. In the first 2 episodes of what we've seen here, in my opinion, I'm no critic, but in my opinion, this doesn't come anywhere close to The Mandalorian yet.
No.
So how they have a 92% at this point, I really couldn't tell you.
And, normally I would say, hey, I feel like they're actually going to flesh out the story of the main character. But if you would have asked me 2 episodes into The Mandalorian if they were going to flesh out Din Djarin, I'd have said absolutely.
Right.
So I can't even put that as a reason.
Right.
Like, there's no reason this show with these 2 episodes should be 2% higher than The Mandalorian. No way.
Exactly.
No way.
I mean, if we're being honest, so, okay. The critics got to see 4 episodes. Maybe they know something we don't, but we're going to have to see,
Right.
And we'll have more to say on it, when we see those for sure next time around.
Well,
but
like I said, I feel like the potential's there. The potential's there for this show to be kick-ass. They're not executing on that potential.
It's exactly.
Like, this show, like, with everything that was spoken about it and everything that was said, this show was a massive disappointment for me. Massive.
Agreed.
And I really, really, like, it has its moments. Like, it has its, peaks and valleys, right?
Yep.
There's moments where I'm like, oh, this is the moment it takes off. This is when I'm really going to get into this. And then it just valleys out on me.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, why you got to do that? Like,
right?
I'm right there. I want to do this because there's so many good things that could be a thing and you're not taking advantage of it. So maybe in 2, 3, or 3, 4, all the way up to 8, maybe they pull that off. I hope so.
I hope so too. Because as of right now, looking at these ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, the critic percentage is looking an awful lot like the hype leading up to the show, whereas the audience score is looking an awful lot like kind of what we got. You know what I'm saying? You said it early on. The hype was huge leading up to this.
Oh, it's huge. And the critic score, I'll say it the way it is. It's looking butt.
Right.
It's looking butt because this show does not match that. Period.
Exactly.
Period.
Yes.
This show does not have a cohesive story going so far. If you're a critic of any story, you do not go, oh, yeah, this has got potential to go forward in a good way. No, this stuff is all over the place.
Yeah, nobody who's being honest with themselves about a story can look at this and go, oh, this is great.
No, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The critics are proving to themselves or proving to everyone right now it's where the money is.
Yep.
Because that score, that's bullshit.
Right.
92%. Like, oh, you know what? Let's just do one more thing.
Okay.
Let's go see what the critics have to say.
Oh.
Where's it at? I feel foolish. Where do I see the critic score? Okay, so if you go to top critics, it actually drops to 74%. All critics is 92.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But where's the critics? Where do I see their actual reviews? Do you see them at all?
No, I'm looking. Sorry, I actually don't dive in this deep most of the time.
I normally read some of the reviews.
Right.
And I'm not seeing any of the reviews right here. Maybe if I go here. Okay, let's see what we got here. I found it.
Okay.
All right, if this review loads, I'll be able to read it.
That'd be amazing.
Okay. Yeah, okay. They're full of shit. Top critic from the Washington Post. So come on, Wapo, what you got?
Right.
All right. The show refreshes the franchise by remixing some of the film's more potent archetypes while remaining accessible to neophytes while remaining accessible to neophytes.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, I already did it, right? I already pushed it to that rating. So fuck you.
Yes. Gotcha.
Okay, here's another one. Top critic. Vanity Fair. I can't say if The Acolyte will evolve into a classic, but it's clear that Headland has set off on a unique path that is immensely watchable and could open up a thoughtful new direction for the Star Wars universe. Thoughtful.
That's part of what we've been talking about. Is the story is clunky, it is confusing at times, and it is lacking that thing that draws you in, that pulls you into the story.
So we are very, very convinced now that these people don't read books.
Right.
All right. Like, who's to blame for this? Is it Marvel? Like, is it Marvel?
Maybe. I don't know. You've beaten up on Marvel a lot, so it's possible. I mean, you could be right on the money with it.
Okay, so I gotta say, I've really, really crapped on Marvel for a while now, right?
Yeah.
Now I ventured off from the Avengers timeline, right?
Right.
And I watched the Wolverine and Logan recently. So
Okay.
I'm like pretty much all caught up on everything Marvel.
Okay.
Dude, Logan? Have you watched Logan?
I don't think I have.
Okay. Well, you should watch Logan.
Okay.
That is one of the best comic book stories made into, like, well, I shouldn't say comic book stories made into film, but comic book characters used in film.
Okay.
Logan is fantastic. It is an absolute, you know what? I'll say it. It's a gem in cinema when it comes to comic book characters.
Wow.
It is fantastic. Like, they used all of Hugh Jackman's talents. The
Nice.
guy's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't sing. I shouldn't say he used all of his talents, but because the guy can sing.
Yes. Yes.
But they knew they had a talent like Hugh Jackman, and they used it. They had Patrick Stewart. They used it.
Right.
Dude, when you have Patrick Stewart, right? This is a guy we all know. My age group, your age group, right?
Absolutely.
This is a guy that showed up on like science shows on PBS, right? Because he was doing Star Trek.
Yeah, Captain Picard, right? I mean,
right. When you have him telling Wolverine to fuck off, it changes the game, dude.
Heck yeah.
Dude, Logan, I was blown. Like, I don't know why I slept on that. I should have watched it a long time ago. That was a fantastic film.
Right on.
And I only did it because I'm getting ready for Deadpool and Wolverine. I had to be up on Wolverine.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
And now I'm wondering how they're going to do Wolverine and Deadpool. Like, I bet they do it better than Star Wars is doing.
Right.
But
Yeah. Well, hopefully this show gets better. I will say, since I've been noodling around on Rotten Tomatoes and refresh
I got another one.
What?
Okay, set hundreds of years before the events of the Star Wars saga, we know best. So the Star Wars saga, we know best.
Uh-huh.
This show gets to tell its own story, making it better than most of the series Disney Plus has pumped out. Gets to tell its own story. Did you not watch the films you watched? They talked about the history all the time.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know. I have no words for this. I don't know. Like I said, I hope it gets
okay,
better.
this guy,
Oh,
I gotta.
Here we go.
Mad props to this guy right here.
Okay.
This is not the worst we've seen from Star Wars TV, nor is it the best. That's his review.
Okay.
Solid.
Okay.
It's not the worst we've seen so far. You should probably wait until the end of the series.
I was gonna say, yeah. Let's let that play out. You know, we're talking about the first 2 episodes because that's what we got so far, and to make a statement like that for the show as a whole, I don't know. You know, I would say, I want this show to be good. I want it to get better as it goes along.
Ooh. Found another one.
What?
There's always time to mess things up. So far it's great.
Oh, gotcha.
According to this guy. Looking at You, Willow TV series. Okay,
Wow.
that's fair. But The Acolyte so far is a great Star Wars show with no inevitability to its endpoint and minimal fan service. Minimal fan service.
So those things that I was talking about where they, intentionally don't do the
Intentionally
things
say I've got a bad feeling about this,
Yeah.
or intentionally, peace is a lie. I know. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
So it's not fan service because they're fucking it up, but
exactly.
it's fan service because they're putting it in there.
My God. All right.
Yeah, we could do this all night.
Yeah. Actually, we can't. And but
No, I'm saying we could. We're not gonna, but we could.
I do want to make mention, as of you noodling around here on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score has dropped another point. So it's at 28 now.
Oh, I got another one. You're gonna love this one.
Okay.
You're gonna love it.
Last
Because
one.
The Acolyte, this is the last one. The Acolyte is a breath of fresh air with a storyline different from any other Star Wars property. Nailed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The new Disney Plus show doesn't rely on past events in the saga. Well, it's before them,
Right.
so it can't be past events.
Exactly.
Okay, but instead foregoing its own path with exciting new characters and world. It's a galaxy, not a world. But let's go. Okay, so doesn't rely on past events. Yeah, there were no events before this.
Right.
This is the worst review I've seen in my life.
This is pretty insane. Yeah.
This is absolutely the worst review I've seen in my life. Because you did not take the time to realize what you were talking about.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't rely on past events in the saga. There are no past events in the saga at this point. This is the first show 100 years before the events of the other one. This is a prequel.
Yep.
To the prequel.
This predates everything else we've seen on a
Yes.
screen.
This is the earliest on-screen Star Wars ever.
Yes.
There are no past events.
Right.
How can you write a good review saying that bullshit?
They can't, and they didn't.
So let's take the critics and ignore them
Yep.
because they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
I'm good with that.
So, yeah, that's why we have this disparity. Because they're saying shit like this.
Right.
But anyway, if you have anything to add, you can always email us, show@thewordsofmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media at The Words of More on X, facebook.com/thewordsofmore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewordsofmore.com. Hey, I'm ready to fight. Let's talk about The Acolyte.
Nice.
Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I'm all my thoughts they're out.
It's all mud.
Exactly.
All right. We will talk in 2 weeks.